What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Today I'm doing Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. That's what the bottle looks like. Alright. Super dark in color, like a mahogany color. 64.45% alcohol by volume, 130.9 proof. I'm gonna pour this out and talk a little bit about this whiskey. So, this bottle is not available in Ontario just yet. This was purchased in the United States and brought over to me by my good friends Bubba and the Beard. Beard drives up here periodically and was able to bring this for me. He tends to come to Ontario whenever there's a deal at the LCBO, or if he wants to go to Woodbine, which is known for its racetracks, and I think he has some sort of affiliation with a horse there. I think it's just because they have a similar name or something like that. But anyway, I'm very grateful to Bubba and the Beard for purchasing this. This goes for about $60 American. We made a trade for a couple of my hats and an open bottle, which he was able to bring back, and I got this. So I like the deal because this is not available to me, and I hope they like the deal too. We are going to be doing a live review together of the Stag Junior, hopefully next week before the end of the month. If I have to spill into September for some of my bourbon reviews, then unfortunately I will, but Stag Junior will be coming up. They have a full bottle of this at home, or at least a partial bottle, and they'll be showing their bottle, and I've had an opportunity to have at least 3 drams out of this one because they kind of filled it up to the top, and this is a nice sample size. Really like the Stag Junior, but today we're talking Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite whiskeys. Alright, so a little bit of background information on this one. After the whiskey's made, it's dripped for 6 days through a 10-foot vat that contains charcoal that is constituted by burning maple wood. Alright, so that's very unique. It's a different process than, well, bourbon's not allowed to do that. Only Tennessee whiskey can be qualified as Tennessee whiskey if they pass it through charcoal, and Jack Daniel's, I believe, was the first one to come up with this process. I could be wrong. If you know better, please state it in the comments below. It's roughly 4 to 7 years of age, and the mash bill on this one is 80% corn, 12% rye, and 8% malted barley. I'm going to taste it, nose it with no water, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water because it is up there in ABV. It's 65.45%, 65.45%. So it's up there, and it definitely will need a drop of water, more for your liver than for your palate, but we'll talk about that in a sec. So, as you can notice by the mash bill and the fact that it's aged in new oak barrels, all the same rules apply to a bourbon. The only difference is that charcoal filtering, all right? And you will definitely, if you were relatively new, or if you've only ever drank bourbon in your life and someone gave you this glass, you would definitely think it was another bourbon. The only difference is it has that distinct Jack banana custard smell, and I find with the higher quality Jack Daniel whiskeys, so the lower quality Jack Daniels, you just smell banana. As it goes up in quality, you smell banana breads, banana custard, like a banana in like oatmeal, basically that sort of thing, right? Such a nice nose, and at 65.45%, you definitely don't pick that up. I wouldn't have been able to pinpoint that being so high in ABV on the nose for sure. There is some heat to it. You do get a little bit of alcohol sharpness to the nose if you put your nose in the glass too deep, but it just smells like a really nice whiskey. Okay, on the palate, banana, caramel, oatmeal. Literally, it tastes like my maple syrup oatmeal that I have every other morning. It's oatmeal, walnuts, some banana chopped into it, and maple syrup poured on top. That's almost identically what I'm getting in this. I do recommend that you take small sips when drinking this one because it's so heavy in alcohol that you can burn your tongue and you can burn your esophagus as well if you take big gulps. So take small sips if you're gonna drink it neat. Otherwise, add a drip of water to bring it down a little bit. And that also, the water allows you to enjoy it for a little longer. Okay, so I added a very little water. Maybe it dropped it down 5-10% into the 55-60 range. Okay, which is still nice and high, and that's still higher than most alcohol is bottled at. Most whiskey is bottled at. The single barrel select is bottled at 47%. So in order to get it down to 47%, you'd have to add a bit more water than that. So let's try it now, roughly between 55 and 60. Definitely a little bit more approachable. You can get a little deeper in the glass now. Concentrated banana bread smell, like literally you just opened the oven. Even more syrupy on the palate. That's a really nice whiskey. I like it probably just as much as, if not a little bit better than, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I think those extra hints of banana push it just over the top for me when comparing to the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that I've tried. There's several batches of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. There's several batches of this JD Barrel Proof. So the two batches that I've tried, Elijah Craig is slightly under this one, and that's not saying that Elijah Craig is bad at all, because I gave that an A+. The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof was if you go back, it's a A+ on my channel. This is younger. This is probably about, depending on whether this is closer to 4 years old, 7 years old, it's a lot younger. The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I think, is 12 years old, so, or the one that I tried anyway. Very nice whiskey. Super sweet, full, syrupy. Has all kinds of nuances that you don't pick up in a normal whiskey, like that strong banana nuttiness. I honestly like it neat better than with a little bit of water. I find water will bring out a little bit more grassiness on the palate, but I warn you, if you're gonna drink it neat, little sips, okay? Absorb the whiskey into your saliva, that way you can enjoy it for a longer period of time. It's less harsh on the liver, and you don't burn your tongue or esophagus. That goes with any barrel proof whiskey, any cask strength whiskey, depending on what you're drinking. Barrel proof is usually called that if you're talking American whiskeys, and cask strength is usually called that if you're talking Scotch or other worldly whiskeys. That's an A+. Really nice stuff. Maple banana, like I said, oatmeal. There's a walnutty type taste in there as well. I would say if you really have to dig deep, you get a little bit of like an coffee or even maybe a tobacco note. I'm not 100% sure which of those two I'm picking up, but somewhere in between there. Really, really, really nice stuff. A+ for sure. Number wise, I don't really know. It would go probably in the 93 range, maybe a touch lower, maybe a touch higher. So between a 92 and a 94 in my opinion. I've yet to have something that's 95 or above. I'll probably call the 96 to 100 portion of my marking scheme, because I haven't given one yet, an A++. I haven't given an A++ yet. I don't know if those actually exist. Obviously there's some flaw in every whiskey so far that I've tasted for it not to reach the 95 to 100 range. I haven't given anything a 95, so hopefully that'll come eventually. We'll see. Maybe one of the Pappies, maybe the 15, the 21, the 25, the new 25, who knows if I even ever get a chance to try those, but time will tell. Other than that, really good stuff. A+ for sure. Okay. This week I will be doing Maker's Mark and Maker's 46. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to do a head-to-head or I'm going to do two smaller videos, like two quick 5-minute videos on each. I have, like I said, the Stag Junior that will hopefully come up next week before August 30th. This Sunday I have my Whiskey After the Thrones. Of course, people that have watched my channel for a while know that I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so I will be doing a Whiskey After the Thrones. That's going to take place around 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern Time PM, following the season finale. So I really hope you guys can join us. We're going to be chatting Game of Thrones with whiskey in hand, just talking about all the things that have happened this season and in past seasons. Hopefully it'll be an interesting conversation. Hopefully you guys join. And if it's a success, then we'll be doing it for other things as well. After that, I have a couple more things that I'd like to do. I have a Wyoming whiskey that's been given to me by Jamie Johnson, the ambassador of Balvenie, and I haven't tasted it yet. I'm gonna taste that shortly. This way, her and I might be going live on August 31st to review it together. That's still up in the air, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening. Other than that, I do have a Barter House 20. I haven't forgotten about it, and that'll probably take place next week. Hopefully I can get my buddy Joe, who has a bottle of this, to come as well, and maybe we can do the review together. We'll see. Lots of stuff coming up. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Check out some of my other videos this month. It was an awesome month in my opinion. We did American whiskey and bourbon all month, which is rare for me because I do a lot of Scotch and I've done some really, really nice bourbons in the past. If you look in my bourbon playlist, I have George T. Stagg, I have some Van Winkles, I have some Weller, I think I have Weller 12 and a couple other Wellers. So I've done some really good bourbons, but this month has really enlightened me in what can be an awesome whiskey. It doesn't necessarily have to be 25 years old, especially when you're talking bourbon, and I really enjoyed this month. Okay, two of my highest marks, which actually shocked me, which I never thought I would ever give, was the single barrel Jack, barrel proof, and the Select. Okay, so I really, really enjoyed both of those. I hope you guys have enjoyed it too. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as Patreon.